Hello everyone, a very good day to you all. Welcome back to My Cakes and More, where my cakes are also yours and more. Well, my dear friends, today is another special day to share with you a great delicacy which is very common amongst Filipinos. Today, I'm going to share with you the secret to preparing Ube Biko. This is Malagkit with a twist. Well, this simple delicacy has different ways of preparing it. So I will show you how MIcaKEs does it. Well, before we start, allow me to share with you the ingredients. So we will be needing 3.5 cups of coconut cream, 3 cups of glutinous rice, half a teaspoon of table salt, 1 cup of jaggery. So here we won't be using sugar, so we're going to use, I would say, natural sweetener. We will also be needing 1 cup of sweetened yam jam or halaya. We will also be needing 1 cup of macapuno or sweetened coconut sport. This can also be used in replacement or as an alternative to sweetened jackfruit or minatamis na langka. So you can either use this macapuno or sweetened coconut sport or sweetened jackfruit. You can never ever use both, otherwise your Ube Biko will be too sweet. And we will also be needing 1/4 or 1/8 cup butter or margarine, okay? And for the toppings, we can either use grated cheese, so this is cheddar cheese, or Latik. Latik is actually prepared by simply getting the extract of this and boiling it in low to medium flame. And once it starts boiling, switch to low flame until such time that the extract of this, which is basically coconut milk, will be evaporated. So this actually takes time. And what is left over, or let's say the sediment, okay, will now become the latik. It is brownish in granules, and that is now what we're going to use as toppings. Others prefer either cheese or without latik or cheese at all, simply because preparing the latik takes time actually. But for now, since I am introducing this special recipe, MIcaKEs has this special way of preparing this Ube Biko. So the best way to preparing the Ube Biko with a twist. Alright guys, so allow me to share with you the first procedure. So what is it all about? We are now going to wash clean this glutinous rice with tap water, perhaps twice or thrice or even 4 times until you made sure that no dirt is left and it is clean. Then we are now going to use distilled or mineral water for boiling. We will be using approximately 1/2 cup to 1 cup, not more than that, simply because we have the coconut milk. Alright, so that will be the first step. Then next, I'm going now to show you how we're going to prepare the latik. So it takes time, but even then, I would love to share it with you. Okay guys, so let's start. So now guys, I will show you how to prepare the latik, or the leftover of evaporated coconut milk. And this is what now we're going to use as toppings for our ube malagkit or ube biko. Okay guys, so in a pot, pour in 2 cups of water, or you can also use 2 cups of boiling water, so the boiling will be faster once we have put in the grated coconut. So this is now the grated coconut. This is actually 2 big sizes or 2 big coconuts, or you can also use 3 coconuts if it is just medium size. So what we're going to do guys is just to let this not actually boil, okay? So nearly boiling point, then we switch it off, then wait for 10 to 15 minutes until the coconut has extracted its oil and natural liquid. So we just keep stirring for the grated coconut to be soaked with hot water. Okay. Then later on guys, what we're going to do is, after setting it for 10 to 15 minutes, once we have taken it off the flame, we are now going to squeeze it with our 2 hands. Make sure again guys that your hands are clean once you deal with food. Okay, so we're going to make sure that you won't get burned. Okay, do it that way carefully. Okay, then the extract will now be sifted. So the extract will now be sifted and set it aside or keep it in a clean bowl. And that is now what we're going to cook until it evaporates, and what is left is the sediment, and that sediment is called the latik, or what is now going to be topped on our ube biko later on. So guys, as you can see, it is already boiling. So what we just have to do is to make sure that the coconut is soaked with water. By this time you can now switch off the stove. So again, let's just set it for 10 to 15 minutes, then later on I will show you how to extract it. Okay guys, so this is now the glutinous rice which we had washed clean. So it is fully drained. Now what we're going to do next is add 1/2 cup of water. Later on we will see if we require to add another 1/2 cup of water. But initially, let us pour in 1/2 cup of distilled or mineral water. Then the 3.5 cups of coconut milk. Then just simply mix before we switch on the stove into low to medium flame. So this procedure guys will allow you to just keep mixing and mixing and mixing so as not to have the glutinous rice stuck at the bottom of the casserole. So initially guys, you can set it at medium to high flame. Then once you see that it starts to boil, then you can now shift to low medium flame. So guys, this procedure is quite tiring because it will enable you to just keep simply mix and mix until you notice that the glutinous rice is already cooked and coconut milk is already absorbed by the rice. So just keep mixing guys. So just keep mixing. So for now it is still in medium high flame. Like what I've said, once boiling starts, then we can now shift to low-medium heat. Just keep mixing so as not to stick at the bottom. This Ube Biko is so special that it is not just Malagkit as we Filipinos call it. It is not just plain Malagkit that is sweetened with brown sugar, or others use jaggery or even molasses. But for this recipe, I'm going to show you how this is prepared with a twist. So normal or usual Biko or Malagkit is prepared with glutinous rice, with coconut milk, sweetener, either brown sugar or jaggery, and Latik, or the leftover of evaporated coconut milk. Others also call it as the sweet leftover of evaporated coconut milk. So it evaporates through heating in low flame. So this time I'm going to show you how this Ube Biko is prepared. It has a twist because it has sweetened coconut sport, or like what I've said earlier, you can also use sweetened jackfruit as an alternative, plus the sweet yam jam or the ube halaya, and our sweetener will be jaggery topped with grated cheese or latik. And by the way guys, for a much better presentation, we will be using banana leaves. So I will show you how the banana leaves will be used later on. So we are now going to spread first the banana leaves in a container. Others use a dilao. Then pour in the prepared Ube Biko. Others actually just call it Biko or Malagkit, but for this special recipe, we are going to call this as Ube Biko. This Malagkit can either be eaten warm or cold, and best paired with black coffee or tea. So this is heavy guys, and kids will surely love this. I remember when I was young, this was what my mom prepares as our snack. So when we have this eaten in the morning, by the time we go home for lunch, our tummies are still full because it is made of starch and it is rich in carbohydrates. So guys, as you can see, it's now starting to boil. So let us now shift to low-medium heat. So just keep mixing guys until you notice that it is already about to get dried or evaporated. So now guys, since we had shifted already to low-medium heat, by this time we are now going to add salt. By this time, let us try adding just 1 cube of jaggery and see how it tastes later on. If it requires us to add 1 more, we will add. But it's up to you guys based on how you taste it. We also will add the sweetened coconut sport or the macapuno, and the sweet yam jam or ube halaya. So you will notice guys that our Ube Biko will now turn purple in color. So that is the twist which I was referring to for our Ube Biko. And this is something special. It's easy and it's purple, yummy. You just keep mixing guys. I can smell now the coconutty flavor or aroma. So guys, just keep mixing until the glutinous rice is cooked. You will notice guys that it is already cooked when you notice that it no longer sticks to the casserole. I will show you later on guys. You can also add the butter by this time. Keep mixing. You will notice that the butter will melt, including the jaggery. If you feel that the mixing is smooth, then the jaggery is already melted along with the butter. So just keep mixing guys. I remember my grandmother saying that this is a good exercise actually. A good exercise for your arms. Just keep mixing. So as you notice guys, it's almost not sticking to the casserole anymore. Okay, but let's just keep mixing because the glutinous rice isn't cooked yet. So the jaggery is now nearly melted. See that? Then we will taste it later guys. If the sweetness is just enough, then we will no longer add the other cube of jaggery. So this one piece of jaggery is roughly like 1/2 cup. It measures 1/2 cup. So earlier I mentioned that we'll be using 2 cubes or 1 cup of jaggery. So we've just put 1/2 cup or 1 piece of jaggery. Later on, when the glutinous rice is cooked, we will taste a little and determine if we have to add one more or the first piece is just enough. Guys, so we had set it for 10 to 15 minutes. Alright, so we just have to stir it and you can see that we are most likely to have a good amount of coconut milk. So let's try separating the soaked grated coconut from the coconut milk. But the procedure is not yet over. We still have to squeeze this later. Then in a bowl, in a strainer, we now try to strain. So guys, this is just a repeat process of extracting it, squeezing it tight with your 2 palms. I will show you how it is done. So again guys, make sure that your hands are clean. So we just get this. Okay, then carefully squeeze with both your palms. See it? Repeat the process. So we repeat the process until all the soaked grated coconut is already carefully squeezed and the coconut milk is now fully smooth and strained using this strainer. and I will show you what the next procedure is. Okay guys, so we had already carefully squeezed the soaked grated coconut, and what is now left in the bowl, the white liquid that you see here, is now the coconut milk, and it is natural or fresh. So now I will show you what the next step is. So you see they're watery, but this is what will enable it to make it fully cooked. Let's keep mixing. So in total we had been mixing this for 40 minutes. Okay, so it seems it's already cooked. So we shall now transfer this to a container designed with banana leaves. Okay guys, so now I will show you how the latik, or the sweetened leftover of coconut milk, is prepared as toppings for our ube biko. So guys, remember, this is the coconut milk which we have extracted from the earlier procedure I showed you. Now in a pan or wok, we are now going to pour in the coconut milk. So this is more or less 2 cups. You remember guys, initially we had poured 2 cups of hot water or boiling water. Okay, so if you notice, there is this sediment over there that we will not include so as not to discolor the coconut milk. So now guys, we are not going to do anything but just leave it until it boils. By the way, the flame or the heat is switched from low to medium heat. So you will notice guys that once it starts now to boil, you have to be very careful and keep an eye so as for the latik not to burn. And make sure fire this time is very important, or the heat. So it should not be too strong and it should likewise not be too low. I will show you later on. Okay guys, so you should have with you a wooden spoon or a wooden ladle. So not actually to mix or to stir, but just to contain, you know, the sediments or the boiling lumps later on. I will show you. By the way guys, one tip is that this is how coconut oil is prepared or done. So they heat up the coconut milk, and in the process of heating, of course, it gets evaporated. So the water gets evaporated, and now what will be left will be some solidified coconut milk, which will later on become what is called latik. And we just have to toast that in such a way that it is quite dry and it is not sticky. Then we can already separate the latik from the coconut oil. The coconut oil that you will see later on can be used in normal domestic cooking, and they also use this for several health and medicinal benefits. So as you can see guys, it is now boiling. Our flame is still low to medium heat. This process takes time guys. So you will notice that now it is whitish in color. Later on it will turn into light brown, then brownish, then dark brown or golden brown. Just to that limit. Don't exceed, otherwise it will already be burned. And by that time guys, flame or the heat should be already in low. Okay, then you would see how the coconut oil is carefully separated from the latik or the leftover of the coconut milk. They say the residue or the sediment, okay, that is formed. So you would see guys that there are like lumps along with the bubbles. That is now, it is still, I would say, the liquefied latik. Later on, because of evaporation and heating, it will now solidify, and that will now become brownish in color. So like what I have said guys, with the wooden ladle or wooden spoon, just try now to incorporate it in the middle. Not to stir nor to mix. So again guys, it is still in low medium heat. Let it boil. This will take time, but patience will really pay off later on. Okay, as you can see guys, there is the oil already that is being formed. So that is now what is left after the water has been evaporated. So that is not yet over. As you can see, it is still whitish in color, and you would clearly see the coconut oil from the latik or the leftover of the coconut milk later on, once it has turned brownish in color. Okay guys, so again, let us just reincorporate what is in the sides to make sure that it will also be cooked. Carefully see the coconut oil, fresh coconut oil. The coconut oil is now prominent, and just have to once again incorporate those that are in the side. So again guys, keep in mind that this is in low to medium flame. Okay guys, so by this time I had already switched to low flame, and this will take some time to extract more coconut oil and to turn into brown. Alright guys, so as you can see, coconut oil is already being formed around, so you just have to mix this so the latik will be solidified. And as you notice it, it's now shifting from a light color to a darker white color, okay, until this becomes brown. So we will know that the latik is already cooked once it is already brownish in color or golden brown. Okay guys, so this is it. So by now, you can already switch off the flame and start separating it with the oil. Okay guys, so we have here a rectangular container, and we're now going to have this cleaned banana leaves. So we are now going to use the top part of the banana leaf. Okay, so actually this is wiped clean several times just to remove any dirt and any other impurities. So we just try to form it. Okay, there. Then carefully transfer the cooked glutinous rice. And guys, constant mixing for 40 to 45 minutes. So guys, this is again a perfect delicacy or a perfect recipe for any occasions, whether it be birthday parties or any even family reunions or any occasion, or even just an ordinary day with the family and friends. Okay guys, so here is now our almost finished product. So like what I've said earlier, half of this container we are now going to sprinkle or top with latik, and the other half with grated cheese.